Have you ever studied a place on a map for years before you ever actually went there? Modern satellite imagery has made exploring the most remote locations far easier than decades and centuries past. Even so, GPS and interactive satellite maps have their limits. They provide a general idea of the landscape, but in the words of Smash Mouth, you never know if you don't go. I found myself compelled by a pair of tiny lakes hidden from view between high rocky cliffs. Being just a little higher in elevation, the southern lake drains into the northern lake during periods of seasonal flow, and during these times the outflow of the northern lake cascades over a tiny waterfall into the main creek far below. And so, on a warm spring day, I found myself on a mission to hike into these lakes and see them for myself. So when you're in the UP, you gotta watch out because the road will just die out right on you. It's that way. Alright kids, this right here is why you never trust Google Maps. Hey Google, here's the street view. I'll sell you the stills for $100 a piece. So, somewhere up in them there hills are the lakes I'm trying to find, but I'm taking a minute to stop and fish here. I packed my little collapsible fishing rod. I'm gonna try fishing for a minute and then maybe cross on that log and try to scale a cliff. I'm not sure. There's actually something that looks like a trail here. I don't know if it's just a deer trail, but it definitely looks like a trail. Oh my god. I don't know if this is really the trail. You can't even, the phone camera doesn't even begin to show the slope here. This is probably 45, 50 degree slope, 60. It's ridiculous. I'm not gonna be able to go down this one. I have to find another way on the way out. Okay, so the lake I'm looking for is like down a cliff behind me. Somehow I ended up on the east side of it. And I started on the west side, southwest side of it, so we're gonna try to get down there, have a look at the water, take a break. If I find a clear area to cast, I'll cast in a line, but I just want to get there, say I did it. There's a beautiful view behind me. Well, there's trees, but over that way you can see the bigger lake over here. And I guess now time to go down another cliff. I finally made it to the southernmost lake in the pair here. It's not very big, and there was absolutely no trail the way I went. I don't know. I've read some different like hiking blog posts and stuff from probably 10, 15, 20 years ago that maybe took a different path, that there's some sort of a trail, but here it is. Now, years ago, they used to stock this with brook trout from a helicopter. Now, I don't know how you would fish this unless you could pack some kind of inflatable thing in your backpack. Thick trees all the way around the shoreline. I don't see any like rocky ledges or anything. Crystal clear water. Cheers. A little chocolate in me to give me a little boost on the way back. I can't imagine doing this trek in the summer. Today was only 55, maybe 60 degrees. And man, I was getting hot climbing up these cliffs. There's no bugs yet, really. I mean, there's a few different things hatching, but no mosquitoes yet. And there's a lot of standing water, a lot of creeks back here and swamps. This would be absolutely brutal in the summertime. This is a sight for sore eyes and wet feet. It's a road, sort of. And there's garbage. When's this from? May 2020. My buddy DC told me a story about someone he knows who hiked in to
to these lakes one year, way back in the day when they stocked them to fish the trout opener, only to find they still were iced over. Now, I imagine I probably took the most difficult route possible there, but I can't imagine hiking in here in the end of April on an average year. I can't fathom the amount of snow, rotten snow, and mud and ice one would encounter trying to hike to where I just did to fish. That is more dedication than I have. I don't know if I've ever been so happy to see my truck. That was the most brutal hike I've ever done.